It is another beautiful day out here on the farm. So, I want to challenge everybody that watches this video. This is kind of fun for me. Impressed and grossed all at the same time. It's surprising, but here's the thing. Ha! So, I have decided after, finding all them rags and dumping them in this bucket and saying I was going to soak them, I soaked them. So look, check it out. This is fresh, bona fide shop tea. So, if anybody's thirsty. No, but for real, I've actually flushed that already. I dumped it out, agitated it, dumped it out, and then filled it back up with super hot water and some more OxyClean, and it's super gross again. Might be asking yourselves, what are we doing today? Well, not cleaning. Thankfully. For once. Right? So, again, I'm not trying to upload too much when it comes to all this cleaning stuff in a row. I don't want all of my content to fall down onto just boring, repetitive, me shuffling stuff around and talking. Like I said, I want a lot of this stuff to continue to be car content. And so, I'm going to get you guys into the phone stand-em. Yeah. Alright. Ta-da! We finally have parts. Excuse me. I have no good place to do this. Alright, let's come back outside. Excuse me. Look, there's more no good place to do this. Just on the car then. Alrighty. So, I went ahead and bought a new cabin air filter. I decided it's what it is, needs to be replaced. Gonna go ahead and get one. Heater core hose. This one would be my cooling flange. This is what started this whole endeavor, that cracked plastic junk. We now have the cast aluminum one. Woo! Set that up there. That's for the Doge. We'll walk over here real quick. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and grab this thing too. So this is the window regulator for the Caravan. And then what I had in my hand is the hardware kit for the new catalytic converter kit. Bam! And then I have valve cover gaskets. So, once I'm done, hopefully today, maybe tomorrow, with the Passat, I'll be able to do some recording videos on the Caravan. Now, it also depends. So, the thought process here is that I'm trying to do the Passat all the way back to completion. Look at that. We got us a little dipstick too. Because mine was broken and all that jank. Bomb that. Okay. Alright. So, Euro Tuning sent me a swag pack because I was nice enough to ask them for one. So, I had some stickers for the car. Woo! But anyway, this is the secondary air injection block-off plate. This is the thing that goes back there with that thing to, get rid of things. It's super awesome. This is a new coolant temp sensor. That's going to go into that there flange. I believe this is the O-ring that goes there because I bought one additionally. And then this is the resistor plug for the secondary air. So we'll see how that goes. These, I'm just going to go ahead and throw them. Car's locked. Dang it. And the battery's out of it, so I have to reach across. And have to manually pull the handle. So we'll just throw them in that door. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay. Alright. I need to hit this with some compressed air, something fierce, just because it's been outside for a while. It was underneath of the front lean-to. I'd forgotten all about it existing. I think you guys were with me when I found it. Anyway, last time on Ryan's bullshit, we were finding out that the PCV system was crumbling and falling apart badly. We were unhappy to find that out. So we knew we were going to end up finding something similar just because these cars are very, very well known for it. I don't really... I'll keep this for a couple of minutes. I'll throw it over here with one of the others. Maybe I can use it for something else. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, thought process was, I found all the crumbling PCV system. This thing has codes that could potentially be caused by boost leaks. And with it having so many suspect different components, I went online and found people selling a whole 20 valve. I think I get a new one of these, I get some of these and some of those. So I've left that largely intact. What we're going to do today, so we're just going to go ahead and put these in. I'm going to go ahead and give it a good check, pull it out, look at it. There's going to be a tiny bit of cleaning, but you're going to just have to work with me and forgive me because I don't know. You will, because you're here, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to close this bad boy back down. And we're gonna pick that up. Because I know what these are now, I'm gonna forget they exist again. But I'm gonna set them out of the way. Right? Cool. So we're gonna go ahead and see, I want to take all this trash off of the top of it, but a lot of this is stuff that I don't really want to let go of. So this, I just saw it for a flash. The brush right here. I want to keep this brush. I want to take this here wire because it's speaker wire. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know speaker wire is cheap, really easy to get, but the idea is if I needed to like wire in another quick little right there, I got it done. I got wire. That's already, beat. So I'll be honest, I don't know what to do with these, because I guess I'll just try to set it up, because I had a bunch of them scrapers. I think they might still be on top of this. Yeah, I'll just grab all this real quick. We'll have it fall the way I don't want it to fall. Yep, we'll just bang, like that. And then I'll put more stuff in it, and I'll forget that it's going to end up heavy on one side, and it's going to flop, and I'm going to get super pissy about it. We're just going to boop. This was an adorable thing that me and Amanda got at a, I didn't realize I was doing such a bad angle. My bad, guys. Went on just a lunch date one day, and the machine was rigged to, let you get one ball no matter what. And so I got one ball. That looks alright on the inside. I bet you that that'll be a surprise for us later. I don't know if that's any good. What to do with this? I just set it on top. So here's my random doodle bopper. Just set them up there. Alright, so god dang bird already shit on my seat again. Damn it. Never mind. Okay. It looked like some dookie. I was about to be upset because I took time to blow that thing down, tighten the wheels up on her, give it a tune up. Oh, yeah. These are junk. I just kept it because it was brand new. You never know when you have like a minor emergency and just have nothing else. That there's a Passat door handle. I wonder if I have one of these buckets. Nope, that's the extension cord from the other day. Passat parts. It's not the right color for my car anymore, but I still am in contact with the guy that I traded the minivan to for the Passat 4Motion with the 1.8T. I'm not a carpenter, so I don't really have a use for these, but I don't want to get rid of them because if I ever need to do some kind of woodworking, these are good for making good clean cut joints so that I, an idiot, can do stuff. And this is what I was saying. I need to make like toolboxes and specific kits with specific tools because I'm getting like beat up over all this stuff. I definitely want to keep them around. So I eventually, because I run stock tires, well, stock rims on my Passat, I definitely wanted to do that. Alright. Do it with less of a handful. Just drop them in there with the, I wanted to use a bunch of these lug covers because I had mismatched lugs. I had, I have extended lugs when I have my spacers on. Right now my spacers on my buddy Will's car. And, not actually, I don't really remember if I got those. I think I did. Somewhere around here I have two spacers that are sitting with lugs in them, with wheel bolts in them. And those are actually, they were off of Amanda's Passat, but I took those off just because she's not driving the car. It's just sitting in the yard. I was like, let me repurpose these and help my buddy Will out because we did a bunch of suspension work on his car. And some of the things changed, which is actually kind of a gripe I have about coilovers on Mark IVs. Forgive the noise. I know it's loud, but a lot of this stuff on this cart can go right back in this bucket. Well, I know it came from that hand tote, but my thing is, like this old valve, I can just, hiya. This homemade pin, hiya. That exhaust is, what's in this bucket? I think it's an empty bucket. Alright, so that's an exhaust hanger. I still think that's a Mark III shifter relay bar, so I'm just gonna throw that in. No, you know what? I'm gonna take that back. I'm an idiot. Alright. Keep the wrench. I can actually go put that square where I put the those two right angle finder thingies. Yeah, we'll put that in there. You know what? We'll throw this old head in there too. We'll just right in the top. I eventually need to go through that. I think this is like Mark III stuff, so we'll... There. These are tools. That's definitely Passat sensor. I don't believe I've taken any of the others out. Put that in there. Boom, boom, boom. Move that socket over here. Bam. Trash, but we'll throw it in there anyway. Just get it out of the way. Alright. So, I have a bunch of them. Plus, I know where that one is now. Okay, we're gonna go back. So basically, I wanted this cart clear so I can use it for the shop, so that we can have an area to like lay out parts and try to figure out comparisons and whatnots. Because the heater core lines, if you look down in there, they're actually kind of a pain in the ass because they go through a rubber gasket, and they're just annoying as all get out. Plus, with how many miles are on this, I have to be really careful manipulating the nipples up on the heater core itself, just because they could be brittle. So we'll see how that goes. We're going to work on that at some point. But you see they come out the bottom right down there, and they're already disconnected from the car here. So the idea is they come off of there, you take the hose clamps off, and then you drag it, you basically just feed it down through the car, and then you go back up with the same hoses back in place. And you see we have the one hose here. This was a Burgaflex from Turkey. It's just a factory piece. And then I believe I already came over here yesterday with a couple of parts. I might be wrong. I might have left them in the house, but I didn't think so. I thought they came in, and I thought I had them out on video. Oh, yep, there it is. Here's the other one. They didn't have the other one that I ordered, so they upgraded me for free to a Rhine or Rain or whatever. So that remarkably looks the exact same. That's such a damn shame. Well, I guess we'll see what all still shows up. I may be wrong. Then what's it do? One of them comes out and goes over and does like a super loop. No, I'm definitely looking like I've got two of the exact same hose for some reason. So I guess we'll wait on the heater core hose, just because I definitely, if I have to send one of these back because they sent me the replacement to the wrong one, then I gotta take care of that. But anyway, there's still stuff to do. I still gotta reach back here, put this SAI plug on, which goes back here, down here. It'll basically go right about here, which you can't really see again. And then you see that O-ring that's, see if I can light. You know what, we'll just take you out of the phone stand for a second. You see right there where the O-ring's still sitting attached to the head a little bit? That there's where the cooling thing's gonna go. And then just below that, basically, there's that little opening where the secondary air plug's gonna go. I'll obviously put you guys out somewhere for me to do all this. Clearly, you see in another video, I've already removed all that stuff. I didn't really do a how-to about it or anything, although I kind of did, I guess. So right now we're vlogging essentially, and then I'm gonna go ahead and probably after a little while cut this video and once I'm done shuffling some of this stuff around so that I can reassemble the car, because that's like the big thing right now is I gotta get a lot of this stuff back together before I can even fire it up. And there's still parts for the PCV system coming that I don't have just yet. I really need those before I can start the car and see if anything's actually better. If you were watching, I still need to come over here and touch these up, but that still looks pretty alright compared to what it did. Gonna have to give all this stuff a light dusting, but my goodness, if you guys could smell the beautiful honeysuckle smell. Oh, goodness. Look at that. Just, I remember being a kid, young kid, plucking these off, and we used to have to fight the bees, and I'm sure they're around here somewhere. I'm just not seeing them. But we used to take them, and you'd grab the flower and then gently pull the thing out, and there'd be like a little sweet taste of dew, little sweet taste of honeysuckle dew, and it was just some of the tastiest, good time. And I don't think I ever got stung messing around with honeysuckles. And of course, you do it at your own risk. There's still bees out there. There's other bugs that bite or sting. So, do it at your own risk. But honeysuckles are cool. That little fun moment as a kid, every time you found one that had a big fat little drop on it. Oh, man. Good stuff. Alright, so we're just going to gently sit all of this out here, because the thing we're going to run into is that while I'm ready to put a lot of this stuff back, just to get it back in the car and get stuff out of the way, get it knocked out, which, kind of just is what it is. We're still, I haven't cleaned up the harness just yet. I wanted to do a video on it, but then I found the other harness from that car right there in the back, not really being rained on, doesn't really have any signs of corrosion like mine had. So the thought process here is that maybe I can clean that up a little bit, and then I can just kind of lay that harness inside out next to the other one and confirm that it's going to be the same layout. And then boom, bang, pow, Bob's your uncle, we're baking brownies. But I tell you, there's a lot of bullshit. Like, all this PCV stuff is just an aggravating, asinine. Ugh. Can't wait to figure out what of all of this I'm not putting back. So, I guess, I'm not going to stop the video. We're only 20 minutes in. This is ridiculous. We're just going to start putting some parts in. So, let's do this. Let's do this. I am going to move that giant piece of shit out of the way. I'm going to grab this here pad again. I don't really need to go under the car that I know of. I don't really need that much space for parts to lay out. What I need is for you guys to be able to sit nice and easy, somewhat close to what I'm doing, where the glare isn't going to tire me up. So, how do we look here? Dare I say it, it almost looks like we kind of know something about this. All right, cool. So, what's next? The first thing we're going to do is we're going to put this here SAI plug in. As you saw, I've already been back there, and I've juiced her up pretty good. But we still got to open this bad boy. Bear with me. Oh, wait. All right. I hate the way some of these Ziplocs are getting nowadays. You gotta like slide them apart like so in order to open them up. But I really just wanted to see what size we're dealing with here. I think it's a 5, but no, it's a 4. That's okay. I'm alright with a 4. I think I've got those out on the car. So we're going to grab the plate again, making sure the O-ring is still in there. And I like that if I ever somehow end up working this gasket too bad, this little O-ring, I can just put another one in it. I love it. Alright, cool. It's real basic, but it does have where it'll sit flush, which I'm a real big fan of. I like that. The countersunk, I think. Woo. It's amazing that an O-ring is going to do what this thing's going to do, but hey, People do this. Alright, that's one screw in. Bolt. Allen bolt. Alright, that's the other one in. So we're going to take this here pile of parts and set that in front of you so that you can't see what I'm doing. Alright, so what size? We said 4, right? Bam. Is it a 4? It is a 4. Yes. Alright, so we're going to go back in by hand as far as we can go a little bit further. So I don't think. Yeah, it's not gonna fit just yet. It's a tight fit back here, but I tell you what, having all this harness removed, having the cooling flange and hoses and all this SAI junk out of the way, like, it makes this a whole lot easier to reach back here. I can even see back here, and that's like the shocker. Like, I'm so used to not being able to see a damn thing back here. But like, I'm looking at it, and it's awesome. It's like, oh, visibility. Okay. Visibility is important, okay, guys? In the modern world, things like your social credit score, okay? Now understand, your social credit score is a construct of mankind that judges you based on your good deeds. Alright, so we're close enough to tight that I'm going to go ahead and start talking about how tight to make it. It's just a little rubber O-ring, and I believe that this is just a... I think there's like an air rake into the exhaust ports for this. I have not actually really looked into what's happening here, but I know it goes like into the head right about the middle. So there's got to be something going on with one of the exhaust valves where there's like some ports of some kind. But basically I'm getting Guten tight, and then I'm going to give it a little tiny bit of oomph, and that's why I'm using an Allen wrench, because I really don't want to overdo it. But I do want it to be good and snug, because, you know, I am going to run the motor. It is going to be driven, and if it starts making the boost I'm hoping it'll make after this, it's gonna need that to be sealed. Oh, somebody's driving by. It's the city. They're gonna go back there with a lawnmower. All right, another little check. Okay, all right. So now I can grab you guys back out of the camera stand for a second. Boop. That right there is the secondary air injection plate block off installed. And then, of course, like I said, we've got this. So what we're going to do there, we're going to go ahead and get you back in the stand, and you're going to go right back to where you were. Now, unfortunately, they did not include any whatsoever of the well, what is that then? What does that go to? I don't know. They gave me this one, and it fits. It fits okay. Alright. So, I've heard that some of these, because they're cast, they're a little cheap. Let's see if I can get you stood up a little better. How's that? Nope. I don't really care for that, so we're just going to do this again. We're going to use this here box to set you up just a little bit higher. And then I'm just going to tilt you. Something like that. Yeah, that'll do, right? Okay. Alright, so I've heard rumor, and I didn't say heard, but I've seen reviews where for some reason the casting doesn't seal right, so there could be a leak issue, but it is what it is. It's a Velt sport, and I have hopes that it'll hold. I mean, what else I got? So here's a coolant sensor. Go ahead and put this bad boy on. That's some nice foil packaging. Oh, it's got the little. Does it not? No, this is one of the ones that looks like you gotta have scissors. Let's see if my gross ass nails will do me solid. Doesn't seem like they're wanting to. Oh, they did. Look at me. I don't know if you saw that. Alrighty. Oh yeah. The little plastic horseshoe tab. So basically what we're going to do is we're just going to go get a little dab of something, and we're going to squeeze that bad girl down in there. So let's go this way. Let's see what we working with. I don't necessarily, I think I just want to use a little dab of some assembly lube. I think that'll do the ticket. Ultra Slick Assembly Lube. I think that'll do. I would say normally to do some white lithium because it'll make it swell up in there, but I don't really know that I want that to happen on a brand new O-ring and gasket. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put a little dot of something down in there. Whoop. Went in a little too far. That's okay. But basically, you just spread it around. That's right. Get it in there. Don't be shy. She ain't gonna be shy. Bam. And then just like that, we got a sensor. And because I am a human being and I think about the future, I'm gonna put this in a way where when this is in the car, like so, that clip can be pulled. But that's all it is. It just pops right in. No big deal. You can, I hope I'm not like, it's hard for me to know what I'm doing in a way. So we're gonna go ahead and pull that there O-ring off and chunk it. Oh, it actually went where I wanted it to. That's cool. Take this assembly lube out. There ain't really no reason to try and seal this back one. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. It holds the main pressure coming out of the head, I think. This is also what just kind of offshoots and feeds the heater core. But I forgot my plan. That's the 5mm. So I had that bag of stainless steel fasteners that I really liked the look of, and I wanted to try and seize this. Yes. All right, so let's go back over here. Ringling. So we're just going to set this gently down here. But basically, I've got these here fasteners, and I like the look of them compared to the stock ones. And these are also 4mm, which will kind of just add to the fact that this car, you know, with the SAI plate and stuff, it'll just 4mm, 4mm, 4mm instead of 4, 5s, and 6s all over the place. I have absolutely forgotten what the length of the bolts were that held this on, but I know what we can do. I think it was these, and I think we're going to be in good shape. There was a baggie of washers that went with it. Yeah, there we go. Flat washers. Basically, I'm not opposed to double stacking washers when it comes to stuff like this. It doesn't offend me. It doesn't hurt my feelings. I'm going to start with one just because these are kind of long fasteners. They have been too long for at least this one spot right here on the top of the valve cover. I'm not real sure why that is either. But I think my amount of exposed threading is going to be pretty insane. I'm going in with stainless, and I don't remember if stainless reacts with aluminum any worse than regular steel does, but I can personally tell you regular steel sucks. And I don't really have any zinc coated stuff anymore because I made a boneheaded mistake and let stuff sit in there too long, and the zinc has been completely eaten off of all the fasteners. So, fun stuff. But I had a 4mm out already, and because I've gone through trying to do this and that, I have like misplaced and covered up so many things, and this is how it happens. This is how I start to forget what I've got, what I'm doing, where I've been. Alright, so that is the number 4. Alright. Apologies for my super excellent dialogues and filming skills. I know y'all love looking at the sky and the ground and such a good time. Oh, you know what? I do know which ones these were, and I cannot do what I'm thinking about doing because I have to use the studded ones. Oh boy. Alright. Okay, so here's my plan. I'm just gonna dunk this in here a bunch and empty it in, pour it out, in, pour it out. That way we can flush it a bunch, get all the shite out of it. Oh yeah. Yep, there they are, down there at the bottom. Okay, so we're just gonna pour them into the filthy lid. Perfect. Okay, where'd it go? There's one. There's the other, because I do believe they used both of them. There's 2 different. I think the oil line attaches to it. We're just gonna bring this so I can start wiping stuff down. My rags aren't ready yet. My honest hope, truly, is that I can use the washer and dryer to finish off that job once I get enough of the schmutz out of the rag. So we'll see how that goes, right? Alright, so these are terrible. I made mistakes, but what are you gonna do? I gotta use what I gotta use. Matter of fact, let me pause this right here real quick. I'll be back in just a flash. Literally. Alright, I'm back, and what I've decided to do is just throw some white lithium grease on it. Oh boy. Alright, so we snaked this bad boy down in here. I could have come from the other side. It really doesn't matter. Just honestly, it just kind of depends on what you want. I've made a grave error in my decision to do this like this. See if I can set that down without wasting everything. Yeah. Alright. So I'm going to snake around. I'm going to line this boy up. Make sure that the grease goes in towards the hole. fell out. Well, that's good. We like that. So it would seem that I have forgotten that there's things back there that kind of move around a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-send these in and get the grease in there, and then I'll waste the rest of it everywhere else after that. So we're just going to come down to this first one. Just get right up in there. Push down on the oil hose just a tiny bit. Don't put too much pressure on it. I know you see some end to it. Don't do it. I like to run the bolts in and out a couple of times with the grease on it just to make sure that you're getting the lubrication down where you want it to. So that way you are actually going to get a releasing bolt when you have it. If I had spacers and better hardware thought, I would have done something about this, like I said. But this has been me making a slight error. Although it's fine, we're gonna make it work. We're gonna get it. What is this guy? Thank you, Clark. I am going to come around to the other side. Maybe this will be easier to see from over here. I can't get my eye on it for the moment. Well, I see what happened. I see why the O-ring fell out. This doodle bopper thing. You got to slide it behind it. It is something that also pinches down onto this. Oh, goodness gracious. Volkswagen and Audi. I love them. Oh, I love them. But they don't love me. Alright, well, I'm going to set this guy right there with that one. And we're going to see if we can get this lined up first without dropping the gasket. Slide in. Bam. Should be able to snake in here, hit that there. You know what I forgot, guys? It's got 10mm. But we've got really good easy threads now from sending the fastener in first. So I'm gonna keep holding this. Even though I've taken so much of this engine bay apart, this is still such a pain in the ass. Because if I move to the other side to see what I'm doing, I won't be able to hold the gasket in. I love this. Always such a good fun time. And I didn't bring a 10mm. Oh, I'm so smart. Y'all don't have one, do you? No, I didn't think you would. Thank you for checking. Alright, so I'm gonna gently let it go. I'm gonna run over here real fast to where I saw my 10mm. Alright, so I brought the socket, and because it's kind of holding itself up like I need it to, it's going to come back in here, and I'm going to use the socket. I'm going to keep pressing into it. Socket is working. We're doing what we're supposed to, boys and girls. We're there. Once I get it snugged down just a little bit, it won't be inclined to move anymore. And then yeah, there we go. Now I can do the upper one. Shift it a little when you need to. I'm so excited to have like upgrade parts, not just maintenance parts. Like, don't get me wrong, it's absolutely maintenance, but it's not like maintenance. Like, this was an instance where I could have spent less than $15 and just ignored a bunch of this stuff, or I could have done the right thing and done what I did and bought aluminum parts, long-lasting parts, put new sensors in it, give it a real chance for success. Like, I really want this car to work. I've never really messed with 1.8Ts before. Like, I've helped a friend do an engine swap once, and I've done a little maintenance here and there over the years on some. And I mean, in all honesty, if you've worked on one Mark IV, as far as brakes and suspension go, you've worked on every Mark IV. So there's just not been a lot of exposure to the motor itself. I remember I had this one buddy lived over in Elizabeth City, a kid named Nick. He had a GTI, and apparently it had been tuned, and whoever the previous owner before him was, they were a fucking idiot. Like, when I say idiot, I mean, like, all intents and purposes of that word, like, just well and truly, he disconnected all of the vacuum hoses from everywhere. The wastegate didn't have a vacuum hose on it. The recirculator valve didn't have a vacuum hose on it. Like, nothing had a vacuum hose on it. It was the wildest thing I'd ever seen. And he was like, yeah, man, this car's never really been all that fast or anything. And I was just like, huh. I was like, well, do me a favor. Pop your hood real quick and let me see what it looks like. And I just started looking at it, and I was like, well, why is this missing? Like, where's this? Where did that go? Like, what is... He's like, yeah, he, like, simplified it or something. And I was like, no, he like, ruined everything, because wastegate's got a... And then the recirculator valve down there, like, in dumb. Anyway, I gotta take you guys out of the phone stand. So, there you go. That's the SAI block-off plate. Right there in black and silver. And then there's the cast aluminum coolant flange. So you see where the oil hose just kind of sticks right there. I need to make sure, matter of fact, let me turn that there flashlight back on. What I need to see is how close that oil line gets, and maybe put a piece of rubber in there. That way it'll just kind of absorb any contact that it may make. I think that'll be the right thing to do, just for longevity's sake. I don't want to have to end up putting a oil feed line in here. They snake that thing around the back of the motor, and it's like the most buried thing ever. So that's that done. We're skipping the heater core hose for now. Pending the mail, we may get more parts for that thing, but I suppose we can go ahead and clean up some of this trash from that. We'll just this bag of washers right there. Take this. Go ahead and take that. I'm going to throw all this stuff in the fire pit. Oh yeah. And I'm just going to shove it inside of the smaller box so that it doesn't all blow away, because I'm not burning just yet. I like to make sure I got plenty good fill up so that thing burns really good, burns itself down as well as out. Alright. So, as anticlimactic as that was, that's it for the Passat. That's like, other than sliding the cabin air filter in, that's pretty much that. I gotta wait for this. That's gonna need to try and keep this clean. That's gonna be my one of my last things that I do when I put the intake manifold back on it. Yep, just gotta wait for the PCV stuff so that I can wrap all that up, get whatever's broken replaced and fixed, and then try and piece together anything the kit doesn't come with, and try and patch anything up so that if it's going to read boost, it's going to read all of it. We're going to go ahead and we're going to leave the 4mm out next to the socket. We're going to set the 10 there, but we're going to take this. We're going to go ahead and set that down in here. This little thing of plugs we can put down in here. See, I need to go through these bushings here and figure out which ones will fit my Jetta so that I can tighten up the rear beam and whatever else I've got it for. Y'all remember this? There's plans for this where I kind of want to, like, you know, that right there is kind of what I was hoping, where like the filter would just barely be in that little opening, and then it would just make all kinds of good noises and zooms. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and take this. We're going to set this in the car, but we're going to have to walk all the way around for it because I'm still dumb and didn't reach across to the other side and the battery's not in it. But I am just going to set it in the seat. Alright, so trying to think of what we should do next. Something that'll actually get us somewhere. I'm going to set these down in the... Oh, that was not what I wanted to do. Pick them all up, pick them all up, pick them all up. I'll just drop them in there, assembly lube, and then we'll take the cushion back off. See, I really just need to blow it down real good. Although, I don't know, that thing's pretty dusty and dingy, so I may need to soak it once I'm done with all my rags. Oh, and I think with the rags, I'm gonna empty it one more time, and I'm gonna flush it with hot water and more Dawn dish soap again, and try to stir up as much as I can. And then I'm gonna bring it over to the water hose, and then I'm just gonna wash them and try to like rinse as much of that stuff out as I can. And if I can convince it to not put off any more dust, dirt, or grease or any of the nasties, I can potentially wash them. All right, so we're just gonna set these over here because those, like I said, I'd like to use these. And this was the old O-ring off of the old sensor. This is a new O-ring. And then, what a coolant flange to supply pipe. Okay, alright, so that's going to be that metal pipe that's back there. I'm going to put that on, this on that. So we'll set that there. And you can't put that coolant pipe in until I've got the intake manifold back on. So I guess, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and call it for today. That's a pretty good freaking jump on stuff. I'm going to keep working. I'm going to cut the next video, but the thing is, it's going to be a completely different direction, and I have to do a bunch more cleaning again. I have to take the intake manifold, one of the intake manifolds out of there, whichever one's cleaner, whichever one can get cleaner faster, and I need to do that and get it ready and put it back on the motor. And then once the intake manifold's in, I can start, gosh dang it, there's still so much work to do. But look, I am, like I said, making moves. I'm trying to get this content up and rolling. I'm trying to be not boring about it. I know that's tough. It's because I'm a boring guy, but man, this thing, if it comes back together and works, we're going to go on such a fun ride. We're going to roll all the windows down. We're going to blow all the dog hair from the puppy out. But you know what? Well, no, we're not going to take the puppy on the first ride. I'm going to be trying to hit some pulls and make some noises. I still need to do something about bringing the exhaust the rest of the way out. It's like right behind the axle. It passes inspection, but it doesn't actually do much for the noise to make the car very loud. So that section of dump that I had over there, I'm gonna see if I can just put it up there and kind of tack weld it in, and we'll see where we get. While I'm in there, I might pull my heat gun out and try to soften up that corner of the bumper. See if I can push some of that back out. Maybe I can heat this up where it kind of deforms from the draw tight and all that. Maybe I can get all that to come back in with a little bit of heat gun stuff. Man. I hate to think that all this stuff's going to be for nothing, but it won't be. Even if the car doesn't make the big boy boost like I want it to, having all of this stuff hooked up is going to, at the minimum, help me to make the big boy boost like I want. And again, I'm not shooting for no 500 horsepower. This is supposed to be a daily driver rig. It's just supposed to have a little bit of extra go over the stock. Supposedly, these things make 170. So with the tune jumping from like 11 pounds at most up to like 19, 20 pounds, I do see something like 200 horsepower, I think, according to the websites and different forum posts at the crank. And so like it's a solid jump when you consider that this is a station wagon car. Like this isn't a Golf, this isn't a Jetta, this is a Passat station wagon. So it's a heavy car compared to a Mark III or 4 Jetta or Golf. These things have real body to them. There is steel here. Like you see, they spared no expense. Like look at how big the strut towers are, but like for what? Because there's only, and then all the firewall work. Like it's just, these things are stout and they handle well, and it's a really fun car to drive when it's, you know, doing what it's supposed to do. But it's like, once this is done and the car runs good, I also have upper and lower control arms that I still need to do on this, at which point I can get my alignment front and rear and get anything towed in or, you know, cambered in or out that as needed. And that's going to be its own bit of bullshit because the upper bolts are seized in pretty damn bad. And I've been juicing them with fluid film and Croil alternating every time I've got the car jacked up. But I don't know if that's done anything. So it may be a real fight to try and get that bolt that runs through, and we'll do a video on it when it's time. But for now, I'm going to cut this so that we have a video to upload today, this morning, for everybody to watch. And I'm going to get back to cleaning, which is going to be, I don't think I'm going to record that at all. Y'all saw the intake manifolds. They just had grease and all kinds of nastiness on top of them. I still want to take the valve cover off. I just literally waiting till Friday so that I can go and pay for the parts that I ordered. It's through O'Reilly's. I could have gotten them online cheaper and probably gotten them a lot faster, but I like Felpro, and I like that O'Reilly's had the $10 expensive gasket for the intake, though I'm not going to reuse the intake. I'm not going to use the new intake gasket, and I don't think I'm pulling the valve cover just because I don't need to. I think when I pull the valve cover, I'm going to get upgraded coils, but that's also if all of this does what I need it to do. So I'm going to cut it there. I'm going to let you boys go. Have a good afternoon, gentlemen, ladies, everybody. Hope y'all are having a great, swell time watching my content. I am really sorry to be so boring and bland, but effectively, you know, these are big moves for a beginner. I'm not a beginner, but what I mean is the content style, the mods we're doing, this is simple stuff that people struggle with, and you know, I want to get it on film so that people can find it. And see, there's another piece of plastic that I'd replaced when we did the engine swap, the thermostat outlet. They make a cast aluminum one for that one that's in the Horizons. I'm gonna redo that, and I'm gonna put a lower temperature thermostat in it. I actually am gonna try to go for a really solid cooling on this car so that when I do finally start making the big boost, I can just indefinitely run it around, and I'll have the radiator and intercooling to be able to do something with it and keep it nice and cold, so that it's just a like for example, if I go out to the mountains in this car, I want to be able to stay in 5th gear and just roll into the boost and stay climbing the hill. And I don't want it to overheat. I don't want it to freak out. I want, really good management of all of it. So I have plans in store, and we'll discuss those as we get a little closer to it. It all just depends on how these other parts go. But like I said, I'm going to cut it here. We're going to call this hour power hour because we got some components in. We sealed up some holes. We got some starting points. We've got a handful of parts laying around. We've got hopefully another delivery coming at the minimum. We've at least got something that we can replace. If I can redo that main heater core line coming off of it where most of the pressure bleeds off to the other side, then I think that'll at least be a good start, because it comes, I think, out of the head and then up into the heater core and all that shit. So we'll get there. But thank you for being this far. If you've made it this far, I appreciate you watching. I really, really, really appreciate the views. I appreciate all the comments and everything. Keep on leaving them. Keep on talking to me. Keeps me motivated to try and keep this stuff up. A lot of times I come out here, I start getting my ass whipped. Things don't go right, and it depresses me. But having people out here that interact with me, and then I can go to their channels and interact with them, and we can all share the burden of being frustrated with our shit boxes. It's a thing. It's a great thing. So go and leave yourself a comment, stick around, subscribe, go follow my buddies Never Done Projects, go follow my buddy Grampito Vic. That SAI plug, by the way, was Hidden Treasures 360s on eBay. I don't believe he does Volkswagen specific stuff. I'll give a better mention when he gets back to me later on about what his store really is. But I saw a lot of car stuff up there, and it was a lot of discounted stuff that looked like it was reasonable branding. This was a no-name plate, but it's just a piece of aluminum, and I liked it being available really quickly versus everybody else having theirs on back order. So that's that. But, all right, guys, thank you again. Y'all be good. Love you, bye.